Welcome to another YouTube video. This video I want to show you this colour wheel. Now we've a mixture of colours around the outer ring here, and we've got an inner circle as well. So let me first of all explain what it is. It's a way of teaching you or visually showing you if you mix two colours together it will result in another colour. Now the three I want to point out to you are the three primary colours: yellow, blue and red. So I'm just going to turn it so the yellow's on the top there, red and blue. Okay, now if we mix, say, the yellow and the red, it produces orange. Or if we mix the yellow with the blue, it produces green. And the blue with the red equals violet. So let's have a look. If we want to concentrate on yellows, I don't know, say we want to paint some lemons or something. Now this inner circle here, just make sure you can see that turn. It's got the three primary colours: red, yellow and blue, and the white and the black. Okay, and incidentally the three primary colours, red, yellow and blue, can't be mixed by mixing other colours. It's a natural colour. The natural colours are red, yellow and blue. White and black. Black absorbs all colours, white reflects all colours, so they're not actually a colour in themselves. Now if we're taking a look at the yellow here, if we mix yellow with it, that's what's produced. If we mix the other primary colour, red, we produce orange. So if we look here where my thumb is, there, yellow and red produce orange, and there it is shown in the window. Let me turn the outer wheel again and we'll see if we added blue to that. So yellow and blue would make green. There it is showing it in the window. Now, okay, we've mixed up the primaries. Now let's turn that wheel a little bit more. If I mixed white with the yellow, that's what it would produce, a lighter version of the yellow. And if I mixed black, there we are, it's like a greeny jade colour. So basically that's covering the yellow. Now what this wheel doesn't have is an example if you mixed the complementary colour, which is opposite on the colour wheel, and opposite yellow is violet. Now if I added a little bit of violet to the yellow, we get more of a shadow colour. For example, if we were painting a lemon with this yellow, if I then wanted to put a bit of a shadow behind it, you could just see, I'd add a bit of this violet and that would give the shadow of the lemon, which would be better than actually adding black. As you can see, we don't want that colour as a shadow. Now let's take a look at the red. Let's put that to the top. There we go, and just put that under. So red and red make red. Now if I wanted to add yellow to that red, remember the red is it's kind of like a stronger colour than yellow, so you'd have more red than yellow. Anyway, this is what we'd end up with. Red and yellow make orange. Now to prove that, let's have a look. Red and yellow mixed together make orange. I know there's these on the either side, but we'll talk about them later. Now if I add blue to the red, we get the violet. Okay, so red and blue make violet. Matches with that. Okay, and then we'll just look at the black. If I added white, it takes it down a tint to a pink colour. Adding black there kind of makes it like a brown colour. Sorry, adding black, did I say? Yeah. So that's the yellow and the red covered. Now let's look at the blue. There we are, there's the blue at the top. We'll just change it, there you go. Blue and blue. Let's add yellow to that blue. A lot of yellow to a little bit of blue. So you're going to get the green. Okay, just to confirm it, blue and yellow make green. And then let's add some red to the blue, makes violet. Blue and red make violet. The last two, adding a bit of white, gives it a tint of blue. Then adding black, that's what that colour turns into. Okay, it's like a very dark version of the blue. Now that's colour, that's covering the primary yellow, red and blue. And when we mixed two of them together, say the yellow and the blue here, it produced a secondary colour there, green. And when we added the yellow and the red, it produced orange, another secondary colour. When we added red and blue, it made this one here, violet. So we've covered the primary colours and the secondary colours. Now the ones in between are known as the tertiary colours. For example, if we mix the yellow and the red, there's our secondary, and these two either side are known as tertiary colours. Okay? Now also on this colour wheel we've got a grey scale on the outside of here, gradating from number 1, or value number 1, through to value number 10. And what that is if you look at a tree in the distance, you can see the detail. If you squint your eyes, it'll remove the detail and you can see the dark parts, like the inside of the tree, and you can see the lighter values. So that's like looking at a picture. Imagine it in black and white. That would be like the values. So if you could get a colour picture turned into black and white, you would see a good example of it in the values. Now I want to turn this wheel over because we've got something on the other side as well. Now okay, again it's got two circles, an outer circle and an inner circle. Now what I'm wanting here says key colour. Now that's what I want to turn. I want to turn that up to yellow. There we are. Now we're talking about the complementaries here. Now directly across from yellow, its complementary would be violet. And if we remember, the violet was made up from a mixture of red and blue, so it was a secondary colour. Okay, so that was the primary colour on the other side. These were the primary colours, but if I look straight across on this arrow in the middle, that gives me the complementary of yellow. Now if I add a little bit of this colour to the yellow, we get like a shade colour of that lemon that I was talking about. Unfortunately, this wheel doesn't actually cover that, so don't be confused with these shades here, because what this is about here is adding white to that one, adding black to give you that one, and adding grey to give you that middle. Okay, so that's known as tint, tone and shade. So white, grey and black added to yellow gives you these, and it's the same all the way around, whichever colour you want to turn to. Let's turn it around for I don't know, let's have a look at blue. Again, look at blue. Tint by adding white, tone by adding grey, shade by adding black. As I say, it's a pity it didn't have what it would be like if we added orange, which is its complementary. So this is a fabulous wheel and I'd recommend it to anybody. Lots of details here showing, explaining the process of using this colour wheel and the terms and terminology of some of the words. So I'm going to be using this soon in demonstrating some paintings I'm going to be doing. Before I do any paintings, I always believe that if you've got a good knowledge of colour mixing, you'll produce a very good painting in the end. If you try to mix colours without any knowledge of this, you're just going to mix like a grey mud colour, and you're going to lose a lot of time, you're going to waste a lot of money on paints. So the science of colour mixing is what I want to cover, so I'm going to cover it more in depth over about 5 lessons before I even start a painting. So thank you very much for watching. Send me any comments or questions, subscribe or whatever you want to do. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.